Sandra all the time is here with a cold heart through. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. So tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. Good morning, K-Man. Rise and shine. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. How is everybody doing, honey child? I'm getting to the point now where I put down my glasses and then I can't find them. Oh Lord, where did I put them this morning? Oh my goodness. You know, senior-ish, pre-senior brain. I don't know where they are. I did have them on, that's for sure. All right, well, the show must go on with or without Specs. What a hot mess. How are y'all doing this beautiful Wednesday morning? Hump Day Wednesday. All right, give me 1 second. Let me grab my link. So, let me not hit that button. Hold on. Oh, honey child. What was I about to do? Yeah, the eye doctor says, it's time for the reading glasses now. You got to get transitions. And I'm like, not transitions, progressives. So, you know, where half of the lens is for reading and the other half is for, the other half is for, the other half is for, distance. I'm like, oh man, reading glasses already? Yep. Honey child. But don't worry, I can still see one eye wonky. I can still see the computer from here. All right, we got a good show for you today. We're gonna get it. Let me just grab the links here. Send to everyone. Don't forget, show line open 936-2626. And we got some stuff to talk about. Morning to Instagram, folks. They're over here on this screen. How y'all doing, honey child? We're going to be talking about politics this morning. Let me, thankfully, no phone issues. Since we switched to the iPhone, we are good to go. Child, I put that other phone in a drawer so quick. Mind you, there's nothing else wrong with it, but anywho, I'll put it in the phone. I've not looked back. Yep, that's how it is. So we're going to talk about Royale Medical. He finally got sentenced yesterday. We're going to talk about Sabrina Turner. I've been trying to get to this since Monday. And that $1.5 million loan. What else we got on the agenda? Let me just check my notes. So let me see what else. Okay. Good. All right. So what else is on the agenda? I had to restart my computer this morning because it just froze up on me, honey child. Nothing was working. I was like, computer got an attitude. Doesn't want to work. I'm going to fire this computer. All right, let me see here now. I had that. I think for sure I have too many documents open. I'll do something about that later on. Oh, yes, a little bit maybe about the Honduras extradition. And then, that'll probably take the 2 hours. So don't forget, folks, some of you still are not used to the idea that it's now a 2-hour show and not a 3-hour show. So we go from 7:30 to 9:30. Some mornings, in fact, quite a few mornings. Speaking of Mexico, that's Honduras. Never mind. Wrong country. Is still going to a lot of overtime. So I think people are confused because they're like, oh, she's still going online, but no. So it's 7:30 to 9:30. Today will be a hard stop because I've got something to do this morning. So the days that I have something to do, definitely I will stop promptly at 9:30. All right. So good morning to everyone. All of our usual suspects are here. Yes, Cece McLaughlin, Jennifer. Jennifer, did you go to the play? How did you find it? Wee, Jean Mosley. Hello, good morning to James. How are you? Jane, sorry. How are you? Nope, you're right on time, Jennifer. Not early, just right on time. Good morning, Everton. Abby in the house, Diamond Princess. Jan Burke says, good morning. Jan Burke is watching. Yes, thank you, my darling. How are you? We've got Miss Marlon Swaby in the house, Felicia Ryan, Miss Aline. Good morning. Good morning. Flora is here. Robert in the house, Miss Bonnie, Miss Linda. Hey, honey chow, joining us from Bermuda. Miss Linda, I got some, Monday was a holiday for you guys. I think it was also your equivalent like Labor Day. And I got some footage of some of the accidents that you guys had there in Bermuda. My God, for your one little street that y'all driving on, I could not believe the severity and the number of accidents that you guys had that day. You guys are just as bad as us, if not maybe a little bit worse. From the perspective that they actually caught a guy in the middle of the day. Looks like he was drunk as a skunk in his truck, weaving all over the place. I was like, good God, what is wrong with people? Good morning, Strong Will. How are you, darling? This is my, he says, looking good in red. This is my Joseph ensemble today. In the Bible, he had the coat of many colors. This is my top of many colors, I swear. It has like every color in it. Pink, red, aqua blue, dark blue, light blue, various shades of red. It's all about the colors of the rainbow, honey chow. Michelle Syke is in the house. She says, joining us all the way from NYC. Look at that. Are you related to the Sykes here? Pastor Syke and his wife? Marshall, good morning to you. Joining us from North Carolina. And Miss Linda says, yes, too much drunk driving, especially on a holiday. Too many drunk drivers. We know, honey chow. All right, let's get it. Good morning to Delcy. How you doing, honey chow? Dr. Tahir, I have not seen you. You're all the way in India now? Oh. I feel like I haven't seen you in quite some time. He says, keep rocking always. Thank you. Nope, not related to the, I think there's Sykes with an S anyway. So, all right. Well, good to have you joining us. I was just wondering what your connection was to Cayman, like if you were, related to them. Okay. Very good. All right. Thank you. Let's get it. Shall we start with the political stuff first? All right. Why not? So last week, Friday, I got a message. Hold on one second. And this was in relation to a loan. So I couldn't see the document. Now, I got to be honest with you. I should probably find my glasses. I think they're in the bathroom behind me. All right. Shall we try to? All right. Give me 1 second. Let me get my glasses because I don't want to not see something. You know what I mean? Okay, give me 1 second. Can I do it in 36 seconds? I think I can. Let's do it. Uh-huh.
Crichton Properties is one of Cayman's most trusted real estate companies for over 50 years. We offer a diverse selection of property listings and help our clients navigate the world of buying or selling their properties with confidence. Crichton is a name you can trust with our excellent customer service and family-friendly touch. Contact us today to list your home, land, or condo for sale by calling 949-5250 or email info@crichtonproperties.com. Crichton Properties, a trusted Cereba member.
All right. All good to go, folks. All good to go. All right. So last week, Friday, I received a screenshot of a message from Mario Rankin's page called Word of Mouth. And in that post, I don't subscribe to him, and in any event, he's blocked me as well. So although it's a public page, I can't see it. He has me blocked. And to be honest, even before he blocked me, I don't really go on it often. Bless his little heart. I mean, he's trying a thing. I don't know. So anyway, they sent me a screenshot of something that he posted. So I was trying to make it out. I remember looking at it going, what is this? It looks like a land registry document. What's it saying? And then based on the caption from him, I was, like, oh, okay, let me see what he's going on with. Now, we have to put these things in context. Yes, context is important for more reasons than one, y'all. It's important, trust me. And the context of this is Mario is in his feelings at the moment because of the show that I did about Heather Bodden and her family. The family business, okay? Where they're going to be doing this dredging in the North Sound. And more importantly, not just the North Sound, but a marine protected area. So despite what people say, because we're like, oh yeah, we've been dredging in the North Sound forever. What's the big deal? What we haven't been doing is allowing dredging in a marine protected area. What's the point of having a marine protected area if you're then going to go in there and allow people to dredge anyway? And that cabinet is going to give them this, because of course cabinet, they keep saying they're supreme, or so they think. They think that they can't be legally challenged, which is not even accurate. Anyway, he's all up in his feelings about it, so much so that I'm told, and again, I don't watch his show, so those of you who do will have to tell me if it goes so. But I'm told that he actually got on his show. Now, keep in mind, Heather would be his aunt-in-law. So he's married to Heather's niece. Her mother Harlan? Now, y'all have to help me because I'm not the best with the family connections. Y'all know I'm a Caymanian that don't really know who connected to who. And for me, it doesn't really matter in any event. But I think she's Harlan's daughter. Is that right? Heather is it two sisters? Harlan and what's the other sister's name? Christine or something, that was married to Alfonso. And so Harlan's daughter is married to Mario. Well, what can I tell you? Except, that's a conundrum of a situation, huh? That's, you don't like to, sometimes I really don't like to say stuff, but I have to tell it to you in order for it to make any degree of sense. Otherwise, there are holes in what I'm telling you, and I don't want there to be holes because you have to fully understand contextually what's going on. So let me just put it this way. Over the years, that relationship has been off and on at the convenience of Mario. Now, I don't know, some women are okay with philandering Caribbean men. I've seen it time and time again. Other people, they're like, okay, we're not going to have a personal relationship, but for the sake of appearances, you can still stay in the house. We can still pretend to be a couple, but I have my own personal thing going on. I think this is what John and his wife do. They're like an open relationship. She does whatever out in the streets and he does whatever. He has, his is very open. So I can't speak to that part of it because I don't know. What I do know is that for years, he has an outside child outside of his marriage. They've never divorced. He moves in and out. So normally whenever he's financially doing well, that's when he'll move out of the family home and he'll have his bachelor pad. Right now he has a girlfriend. He's dating actually quite a nice girl from what I understand, from West Bay. He went to the West this time, found him a nice girl from West Bay, and the two of them are in an open relationship. They traveled together. And he still lives at home with the wife. Listen, just y'all figure this out. I don't know. So, I don't know how that works in his head either, and what the dynamics of that would be, because you see, for me, there's certain things that are like, this not gonna work. This is a non-negotiable. Okay, so I can't have a husband who doesn't really want to be a husband and wants to be a free agent. You're either on Team Sandy 100% when it comes to relationship, or if you want to be a free agent, then it's called you get a divorce and you go out there and you be a free agent. You can't get the benefits of Team Sandy. Like, okay, you're living in my house, the house is on family land. That has been your saving grace over the years when you had nowhere else to go and you were, a broke man with nothing else going on. You're going to come back in my house? I don't think so. At some point, it's going to be, yeah, doc, that ain't working. Anyway, different strokes for different folks. That's all I can tell you. So she allows him to come and go. So when we did, I guess they're right now, they must be having a good patch, right? Because when we did the show a couple weeks ago now on her family being able to dredge in a marine protected area, I heard Heather was upset. I heard her sister, Harlan, is fit to be tied because she's the one whose name is on the application and she's the one who's pushing this project. She's the more aggressive one, from what I understand, of all the sisters. So everybody's like, oh my God, Harlan is blowing up the place with your name and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. She'll be fine. What won't be fine is our environment. After they've destroyed it, then what are they going to do with the multi-million-dollar parcels of land and homes and whatever else? So yeah, I upset people on a regular basis and I accept that that's part of my job. And I honestly don't care. What is she going to do? Because she's upset. Not send me a plate of turtle meat that I never got anyway. When I come down there for Halloween candy, I can't come to your house. It's like, I don't care. All right. So apparently she's really pissed off. Oh my God, Sandy, she's so pissed off at you. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he has taken up the mantle for the family. And again, this is where I find things for me get a little bit muddled because I'm like, why do you even care? I guess because this family has allowed you to use their daughter for all these years. Maybe you feel like you owe them a little something. I'm not really sure how this works, right? And they put up with some ish from this man, for sure. I told y'all how he had put up the family land, the property, the parcel that she's on, as collateral for some humongous loan with, I can't remember if it was credit union or CIDB, because I seem to get those two confused in my head. But if he challenges me on it, I would be more than happy to go and pull up the legal documents in a court search. Because I saw it with my own two eyes. This wasn't hearsay. This wasn't somebody else telling me. I saw it, and I remember reading through it going, who puts up their family land for like $1 million, basically, rounding up, and then they don't repay the loan, and you risk your family losing property? I was like, woo, honey child, if I was his wife, you would definitely be out of the house that day. So, he he did a podcast, and I heard, again, now this part is hearsay because I don't listen to his shows, so I cannot say, but this is what people are saying. He apparently said he had comments to say about me and going after this project and whatever, because obviously he's in support of destroying the environment, no problem, because it's a family project. And if his mother-in-law benefits, that means his daughter going to benefit his wife, sorry, and by extension, him and his family, right? Okay. Is that rain? Oh no. So then he said that Wayne Panton came on my show. Yes, and he went on Sandy's show and said yada, 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 yada. And I'm like, Wayne Panton didn't come on my show. In fact, if you guys remember, and this shows you how little some people pay attention, he was scheduled to come on my show that day. And as I was getting into the nitty-gritty of it, I said, you know what? Let me message in real time Mr. Panton and said, don't come on today. I'm talking about this. And the reason why I don't want him to come on is because I know he has close ties with this family, and specifically with Heather. They were running mates. They share an office. He's like bankrolling her in terms of her campaign and everything else. So I'm like, don't come on. Employed her for the past 5 years, at least, in the MP's office in the Savannah, Newlands area. So I said, Wayne, just message him, don't come on. Because I know how these people think. You watch them enough, and, I'm not really in their circles, but you watch them enough and you observe them enough, you can see the lies and all the stuff coming a mile away. It's just so contrived and ridiculous. So I said, yeah, they're going to make this like, oh my God, Wayne Panton was on her show that day. And it would be near impossible for him to come on when we were in the thick of that conversation and not talk about it. You know what I mean? It would be like, well, that's weird. All of you would be going, we need to know. How does Wayne feel about this? And even last week when he came on, Mr. Amelia called him and asked him the same question. How do you feel about this? But it was a little bit less raw in time compared to like the day that I was talking about it. So he was supposed to come on that Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday. And I said 2 weeks ago, and I said, nope, don't come on. Let me just deal with what I got to deal with. And I also made a point of not speaking to him in advance about any of the situation because I didn't want what I was saying to be tainted in any way, shape, or form. So Mario gets up. He's defending the project. He's defending the family. Puts in misinformation that, Wayne Panton was on my show saying this, that, the next thing, blah, blah, blah. No such thing. I didn't say anything. I knew this from before, and I was like, I can't address. If I sat here and addressed every single thing, he did, and some of these other people do, I would have time for nothing else. I said, not even going to address it. It's not true. And the evidence is there. Y'all can go listen to the show yourself, and you can hear it for yourself. All right. So we get it done. No problem. He makes these comments incorrect, but whatever. So last week when he's posted this land registry document. So let me show you now what it looks like. He gets a copy of the land registry, and you guys know that the land registry is, for all intents and purposes, available to the public. I mean, you might have to access it by paying for it, but you can go and look up anybody's land papers and see who owns what. And, if you have their name and block and parcel number, you're entitled to that information. So this document was sent to me on Friday. I don't even remember who sent it. Somebody sent it to me. Someone says she'll get over the same as the Mexicans get over the wall. She get over it the same as the Mexicans get over the wall. And they said, I think it was CIDB. Yeah, I kind of think it was CIDB as well. Hold on one second. Okay. So someone sent me this post. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Uh-huh. All right, give me 1 second. I do need to crop this document just slightly, only because I'm just realizing now that it actually does show who sent it to me. We don't want to compromise anybody. Give me 1 second. Uh-huh. So I got this message, and I think the person was kind of like, oh, what's this all about? I was like, let me see. I couldn't even read it properly. I was like, oh, let me check it out and see. Hold on 1 second. Crop. Good morning, caller. Hello? Oh, hold on. I can't hear you. Let me just plug this back in. Hello, caller? Hello? Hi. Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Okay, awesome.
There's an accident right in front of Burger King waterfront that's just happened.
Oh,
If they want to stay away from that road because the traffic's backing up.
okay. So that's right on the waterfront. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, Burger King. You're welcome.
I appreciate it. All right, folks. So
Right.
if you can
Right, bye.
stay away from that area, by all means, please do. Okay. Right. Okay. So and thanks to that caller for that information. So yes, I received this document. This person's like, Sandy, what's this all about? And I was like, I don't know. Let me have a look. I don't even know what this is. I've never seen it before. And I'm having a good look. And I'm like, oh, looks like a land. They said, you saw this today. This was at 10:49 in the morning. And then they say it's been deleted from Facebook. So Mario puts this up and then deletes it almost immediately. Okay, so this goes up. And then when they went back to see it on Facebook, it was already gone. I don't know. Oh gosh, let me see who's at the door. I don't know what this is all about. But in any event, why he deleted it, I don't know why. So he says in this Facebook public post, here is documents. We're not going to talk about the grammar. Sandy, don't touch it. Just keep moving. Okay. Here is documents that show how to buy political behavior. All right. So obviously the implication here, and this is a it's hard to see. I'm going to open it up on another screen, but basically this is a land registry document that shows, I'm like zooming in on it here. Okay. So let me see if I can. So that was his post. I see Priscilla said, what's this about? Somebody else liked that comment. Now let me just do a screen share. That might be a better way of trying to see it because it's a little bit harder to see, but all right. So this is the document, the charge, proprietors. So this was done back in April of 2023. So principal sum, CI 1.642 for interest rate and repayment date, see filed schedule. Note, chargee has the right to, what is that word? Something and consolidate. Is that tack and consolidate? It's a little bit hard to see what that word is. Something, looks like it begins with a C, and consolidate. And then it says RLA sections 81 and 82. Proprietors, Gurney, Wayne Panton, and it has his information. Okay. That is page 1. And then further down now, we have the rest of it. And it shows you the owners of this proprietorship section is Eric Turner, which is Sabrina's husband, and Sabrina Turner, and their relevant information there. And not to transfer without the consent of chargee. So here's what this is. Wayne Panton loaned her $1.5 million. And then this is the charge, because he has to protect his loan, his interest in it, I should say, on the property. So I looked at it and I said, okay, all right, somebody got a loan. let's then inquire as to, what this is all about. So I reached out to the relevant parties instead of jumping to my own conclusion, which, if jumping to conclusions was a Olympic sport, Caymanians would have gold, silver, and bronze medals, because that's how good we are at jumping to conclusions. Me, myself, guilty of it. I see something, I jump to conclusions too. God knows I might have the gold medal. But, I try my best, especially in the space that I'm in, to try to look at something objectively and say, okay, what's going on here? It's like the minister sitting smoking in his car in front of a bar. I'm not going to assume what he was doing at the bar without further evidence, because the bar, I understand, is also a restaurant, Blue Marlin, and they sell food. So maybe he was picking up lunch. I haven't been there in years, but I think some of y'all like their food. I probably haven't been there in 15, 20 years, to be honest. It's just not a good spot to pull into for parking. But, I don't know. Maybe he was waiting on someone to come and talk to him. Like, I can't assume what he was doing in the bar part of it. And that isn't even my issue. The issue is you should not be smoking in a government car. So I can't make any assumptions. But like I said, human beings, we love to assume things. We love to, oh yeah, look at her and him. Mm-hmm. She leaned over the table a little bit too close, honey child, and her cleavage was showing. So, the two of them must be having an affair. We jump to conclusions all the time. Guilty as charged, Your Honor. But when you know better, as you go through life, especially in the space of, you want to be in the space of media, well, according to the court, we have an obligation, we have a responsibility to be responsible journalists. You've got to ask the questions. Just like, Dr. Dursaran, we're going to talk about him a little bit again this morning. I messaged him. It's not like I didn't reach out to him. I messaged him saying, hey, what's going on with your practice? Do you care to comment? Not a word. Crickets. At least I asked the question. And this isn't anything new, by the way, in terms of, what I try to do. I remember years ago, remember the multimillionaire guy, Ducharme or whatever his name was, Ducharme, whatever, that he sued me. And then that, got dropped and we're all good now. It was the same thing. I messaged him and asked him about the transaction in question before we did the story. You know what he told the court? Oh, I thought it was spam. I was like, really? You get an email from a website that you can Google that you see exists. It's a website, Cayman Mall Road. I put my name and I'm asking you questions about something that actually happened and you think it's spam? Okay. Makes zero sense, but if you say so. So I reached out to Minister Turner. I spoke to her on Friday, and I reached out to Wayne Panton as well. And it is pretty much as I suspected. She needed a loan, and he had the funds. And he gave her the loan in order to secure his interests. He then put a charge essentially on her property. Nothing untowards about that. Now, some people are trying to create a narrative that this is how he was able to, oh yeah, he did this because he needed her support in the vote of no confidence. Because remember that impassioned speech that she gave regarding the vote of no confidence, how she was here for the people, yada, yada, yada. All right. Oh yeah, that's why he did it. And the problem with that, though, the problem with jumping to that conclusion is if you jump to conclusions that are not logical in any way, shape, or form, they just don't hold any water. Why is it not logical? Because the time doesn't add up. This transaction happened in April of 2023. The whole vote of no confidence in her impassioned speech happened in November. There was nothing going on in April where he was trying to buy her support. Sabrina Turner has another home, which I'm assuming is her primary residence, in Patrick's Island. She is, I don't know if it's a formal business or a side business or whatever, in the business of flipping homes. Purchase a home, make some improvements to it, turn around, sell it, make a little bit of profit. You guys watch enough at HGTV to know what that means. So this was a property that she wanted for whatever reason. She couldn't go to the bank and get it. And it is incumbent on actually selling the home. And then Mr. Panton gets his money back, plus, I guess, whatever interest. Based on what she has said to me, the parties had legal counsel. They had, representatives. She says this is no secret. This is a public document. She has nothing to hide. And in her opinion, this is nothing but a cheap, attempt to cause political mischief. Well, election time is coming up. And so that's entirely possible. Both parties had legal counsel. They have a legal contract in place. His interests are registered. And so now the only question becomes legally whether or not they made the declaration with, what's it called? They have to declare their interest for political reasons, right? With Parliament. I forget what that law is called. Somebody help me out with that here. And so he doesn't have to do it, but she has to do it. And every so often, I can't remember the dates now, but I think they would have had to have done one over the summer. So every so often, there's a legal requirement for that to actually be updated. She has indicated that she has done that. She says her SIPL, remind me what SIPL stands for again, but her SIPL filings are up to date. She said the Register of Lands is also public, so there's complete transparency, and she's done everything that's required of her. So what's the problem? I mean, do y'all expect that she would be out here in the streets talking about her personal, standards and public life filings? Thank you. Yes. All right. So they did what they had to do. What really is the issue? This is, in my opinion, a perfect example of people trying to make a mountain out of a molehill and trying to politicize this when there really is no grounds to do so. The comment from Mario. Let's look again at his what he posted, right? So what he said, and this is the mischief now in it, is he comes to this conclusion and he says, here is documents that show how to buy political behavior. What political behavior is Mario talking about? He obviously does not say. What he does say, or what he doesn't say, again, is this is how you buy political behavior. I have to ask the question, if that is the case, does that mean that every single time Wayne Panton gives somebody a loan and let me say this, and I hate to say this because some of you have never looked at his filings, and so perhaps, although it's a public document and you can go have a look, you're not aware. Of all of our elected officials, this man has the most money. Can we just be frank about it? Money is no object for him. And that is why when he was with the Progressives in 2017, and even the election after that, they had him bankroll their entire campaign. Go back to the articles, the evidence is there. He bankrolled probably 90% of their campaign. I think he spent probably close to $100,000 out of his own pocket to help the party to try to win. They didn't. And they had to form a coalition government with other people. And I can tell you from the perspective of Alden, as long as you're bankrolling him, he's more than happy with the situation. His interests, he's the longest filings of interests, of property, of everything. I'm sure I would not be saying anything untrue if I said that nobody else even comes close. So the man has been successful in his life. He's invested in property, in businesses. And because of that, we're going to say you shouldn't help people. When people come and ask you for a loan, you should say no and you shouldn't do it. He's not a bank, but I do know from other sources that this is a situation that he had been asked to do this for quite some time. And he's like, And it was like, I really need this property. I can flip it. I can make a profit. This would really be good for me and my family. And he's like, okay. Eventually agreed to the loan. I also know that he tends to be a fairly generous person, although he might want to change that, with money. Let me ask y'all a question now. This same Wayne Panton gave Mario Rankin, my apologies to Mario Ebanks, Mario Rankin, $5,000 to start up his word of mouth show. Was he also trying to buy political favor from Mario? Is that why Mario went to him and asked him for some startup money to start word of mouth? I mean, listen, if you want to call William Panton's really reputation and integrity into question, you can't just do it with one transaction. You have to look holistically at what the man does and apply it across the board. He gave you money when you started this podcast, or whatever you want to call it, word of mouth platform, right after the last election. What were you then saying that he was trying to buy political behavior from you? Did you sell him on the idea that you would be saying all sorts of nice things, although quite the opposite has happened, about him on your platform, because he was the only one dumb enough to invest in that and give you $5,000? I'm just asking the question. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. This is an issue that I am prepared to go to bat for because I have personal experience with the generosity of Wayne Panton. And now I'm going to speak from a personal perspective. And I've shared this story before because I don't have anything to hide, We have all been at some point in our lives in less than ideal financial situations. Mr. Panton, despite what some of you think, was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His parents were not wealthy people that could give him anything. He got an opportunity at a law firm. Somebody saw something in him. I don't even think law was the first thing that he wanted to do. He's always been, for the record, someone who cared about the environment, who probably otherwise would have been a scientist. And it just so happened that he ran into old Mr. Walker and he said, "Hey, young man, you want to come and work with me and go to law school?" And he's like, "Okay, I guess I ain't got nothing else to do. So let me get an education." And then he successfully followed that path and became a partner, et cetera, et cetera. And over the years, has been pretty smart with his money. So he hasn't gone bankrupt yet. Although some of y'all need to ease up off the man. Not for nothing. I know of his generosity because I have been a benefactor of it, right? And he wasn't buying political favor. He was not even in the political arena at the time. So let's rewind, folks, all the way to 2010. So remember, this is my first case ever now with me, the police, and the DPP's office. I won my case, this big dog theft case, and I did it myself, won the case. The judge threw it out. He said, this is the worst waste of government resources and DPP's time that he's ever seen. He's like, "Why did you guys even pursue this case? This is ridiculous." And he threw it out. After that, it occurred to me, Sandy, you have that law degree. Think you need to complete the process, go do the PPC, yada, yada, yada. And I'd always in the back of my mind intended to go back and do the PPC, so much so that every year I would write to the law school and say, "Hey, I'm still thinking about it, not committed to it yet. Can you confirm that I can still come? There's no legal impediment for me to do so." And they were like, yep, no problem. Yada, yada, yada. You know, the funny thing is, it turns out that I'm just getting my seat sorted. It turns out that the last time I asked the question, the law had actually changed, which said that after a certain amount of time, your law degree expires for the purposes of being able to do the PPC. And I had to submit an application to say, hold on, I just asked this question this year, and your representative at the law school told me, yes, it was fine. And I relied on that information. And now I'm hearing that you guys have changed the law. So they made an exception for me, although technically I was out of time. The Legal Advisory Council made an exception for me to be able to do the PPC. Right? Because you got to keep everything in writing, child. Ooh, honey, child. Documentation's important. So I said, I want to go and do the PPC. Last minute, I would have missed all of the deadlines for like scholarships and getting my little funding together and whatever. So I was in dire straits. I was like, oh my God, I need some money to get started and do the PPC. I reached out to Wayne. I said, Wayne, here's the situation. I want to do this. I at least need to get through half of it in terms of tuition money. I can pay them half now, then sort out the balance. He said, I got you with the half, no problem. No strings attached. No, I expect something in return. Nothing of the sort. This is a type of person which in some respects he's extremely generous, and it comes back to bite him all the time. And of course, Mario Rankin is a perfect example of how it comes back to bite him. He is an overly generous person. He has helped countless people. And those of you who've been the beneficiaries of it, I'm not telling you anything new. Even now, he is helping put people through university. These are not family members. They're not his children. They're not people that are related to him. These are Caymanians that he wants to see succeed. And they need a little help with tuition money. They need a little help with this. Health problems. There was a Jamaican guy, and this is why, when some of you, like Chris Saunders, tries to race bait people in this country, but, the white elitists in Cayman, like Wayne Panton. I'm like, Chris Saunders doesn't know anything about Wayne Panton. Otherwise, he would keep his mouth shut, because he's an insult to all of us Black people. Okay? Let me make myself patently clear here. There was a Jamaican fella who had diabetes. In fact, I don't even think that this man was here on a work permit. But he had not recognized that he was diabetic until it was too late. And then he was at loss, at the risk of losing one of his limbs to amputation, his leg, because the sugar, had gotten that bad and out of control. And he needed money to be able to go overseas for treatment. Wayne Panton stepped up. This is not a man that could vote for him. He was not in his constituency. There was nothing that Wayne Panton could get from this man. He just saw a man who was in dire straits, had no money, had no way of getting this done, and he would have lost his leg and possibly even his life if he did not get some assistance. The irony of it is the last time he ran with the Progressives during that election, they wanted to use this story for political gain. And Wayne Panton said, no, I don't want to do that. Like, that's not why he did it. And I don't want to do it. And I don't think that that's right. No, we'll just interview him, and, he can tell exactly, how you helped him and blah, blah, blah. Because he's not a person who goes around bragging about what he does for people. He moves very, very silently. And I know there's a lot of people who are listening to me this morning. You're not going to call in because you don't want nobody to know your business. That, he's paid for your education. He's helped you when you're about to get evicted from your house. He's helped you, with groceries, with this, with that. And you don't have to divulge those things. But as someone who himself has benefited from that same generosity, why would he think that it is so unusual and peculiar for Minister Panton to assist a fellow Caymanian trying to do a little, home flipping, that happens to be a member of his government. So Scott doesn't agree. He said, regardless of the circumstances, it's a bad look. Premier can't be loaning money to other MPs. I would classify this as a mistake. I like Wayne and Sabrina, but I wouldn't advise them. I would have advised them both against it. Okay. Because it looked a particular way. But how does it look a particular way if there's full disclosure? Nobody's hiding anything. These are public records. Now, if this was a situation where he was sneaky linking in her backyard, handing her $1.5 million in a grocery bag or garbage bag, then we might be like, what the heck is going on here? You see, it's how it's done that would make it look suspicious. And in my opinion, the full and frank disclosure, the hiring of lawyers to handle the transaction, everything is in writing, then what is the issue? Damien says, isn't Wayne Panton funding parks and Newlands out of his pocket? 5 parks have been upgraded in the community, some completely new. Equipment ordered from overseas, all that kind of stuff. And Wayne Panton has done that completely out of pocket. That's not government money. Government might own the land, but he has improved upon those parks, all 5 of them, including, let's get a little bit controversial here, including the Pedro Park, which is actually owned by Heather Bodden and her family. They own that park that they've allowed for public space, public use. He improved upon it. He bought all the equipment that has it looking nice and fresh now. And he didn't want to go and get the stamp duty waiver on the equipment. It was the shipper, and I can tell you this because this did not come from him for sure. It was a shipper who was like, you're spending all this money on government equipment? On equipment to fix up public spaces? Why didn't you request to get the duty waived? This is a community project. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want people thinking I'm trying to get anything from government. No, but that's money that you could take and put back into the community. Marshall says it's no funny business when there's full disclosure of the transaction. The irony of it all is so many people do things that don't come with full disclosure. And they request you to do things that don't come with full disclosure. And then they're the first ones who want to sit down and question Mr. Wayne Panton. You need to look in the mirror and question yourself. Because the only reason you would think that somebody's trying to buy political favor here is because that's the type of thing that you would do. So that's the first thing that comes to your mind. And this is not hearsay. And I'm not asking you. The reason that Mario is pissed off at Wayne Panton is because he did not get the political favor that he wanted. I can tell you this from firsthand knowledge. After the last election, of course, the government is contemplating who to put on boards and where to put people and yada, yada, yada. Mario's name was in the mix. I told you that MP Saunders came to me and he would have then been deputy premier and said, Sandy, what do you want? Any board you want to be on, you can be on it. And I said, no, thank you. I said, I don't want to be on a board. I don't need to be on a board. And to Scott's point, I'm like, I can't do my job about holding the entire government and boards and everybody else accountable if I'm on a board. What if you put me on, heaven forbid, off-reg board? And then I got to talk about some ish that's going on at off-reg. I wouldn't be able to do that. So I need to remain, outside of the realm of that type of thing. I was kind of surprised that he even asked because I'm like, I don't need to be on a board. But this is how they buy political favors from people. Why you think and how you think he put Sherry Ann on a board. I've actually sat on a board before many, many years ago. I was on a trade and business licensing board. I mean, way back when. This would have been 1999, 2000, around there. I ain't got the time for it because you do waste a lot of time, I gotta tell you. And people can sit there and talk some foolishness during board meetings. People like her get on board because she needs the money. That's okay, whatever. Needs a free lunch, whatever. But some people want to use their position on boards to do other stuff behind the scenes. Some people like Mario Rankin. Now, listen, I'm not trying to have no beef with Mario because God knows, everything been kosher for a minute, but the truth can't have a beef with nobody. At the time, his name was being considered for a number of boards, and one of the boards was planning. And I remember having a conversation. I will divulge the contents of this conversation to bring things full circle. I remember having a conversation with Wayne Panton after the election. I said, Wayne, I heard that Mario is in the running for a couple boards, including the planning board, but there's some other people who are in running to that board who basically said under no circumstances would they sit on a board with Mario. And he said to me, and there were some reasons why. And he said, but Sandy, if those are just allegations and I don't have anything concrete, I am minded to still give this young man an opportunity. He said at the end of the day, he's a Caymanian. He has Caymanian children. He's a member of this community. So why ostracize him? If he can be useful on a board, why not give him that opportunity? And then, yes, it'll give him a little money in his pocket because they get paid, for every board meeting. And I said, okay, go right ahead. And under my breath, I'm like, we'll see how well that can work out. Well, it never happened because Minister Jay, who, he's the one who really, it's his board and he has a big say in it. And I know Minister Jay is never going to go on record telling you guys this, but there were other people that he wanted on the board who are on the board right now who said they were all prepared to walk away. All of his other appointees, not all of them, a good number of them were prepared to walk away because they could not sit on a board with Mario. You know why? Because even before his board appointment, he was going around telling people, oh, yes, I'm going to be in the planning board. And I see that you've got this project coming up. I can get that approved for you, but here's what it's going to cost you. You see, he's from the old school of when the UDP was in charge of things in this country, and that's how they did business. You grease my palm with a couple dollars here, there, and everywhere. Look at what McKeeva Bush did. Got hundreds of thousands of dollars from a developer for a matter that went to cabinet that he then approved. And nobody said anything about it. That should have been a criminal offense. He should be in jail for that. They did not even charge him for that. Oh, no. That's my company commission. Really? We have the letter saying, okay, your thing is about to get approved with cabinet. Don't forget to send the rest of my money. That wasn't a no company letterhead for no real estate. It made no mention of this was commission money. No. It was so obvious that was a bribe. But these are the things people can get away with, but something that is completely transparent. Y'all want to make a big deal about it. Like, it's just ridiculous. What I'm going to tell Mr. Wayne Panton to do is stop being so generous. Yeah, stop loaning people money. Including this brother over here. What's his name? Sherry Ann is on the business staffing planning board, contributes nothing meaningful, says somebody else who's also on that board. I know. This person says, good morning. Mario is vexed because he didn't get the 1.46 million out of Wayne Panton. I've heard that Wayne doesn't even put in his expense reports to get reimbursed when he has official government business. I know of civil servants who would chase him over and over. Yes, I mean, I'm not telling the man how to deal with his financial affairs, but I do think that he's a little bit too generous with it. Same thing with his MP office. He's supposed to be getting a stipend every month to run that office and pay his staff and whatever. He does it out of his own pocket. Everybody, nobody else. Not another minister, not another MP does that. Wayne Panton pays them out of his own pocket. He's not taking government money, which he's entitled to take, to pay for that office. Now, that was the situation, I think, a year ago. I don't know if he's still doing it, because I told him, you're foolish. You better take it and use it for the community, because then you could do so much more. But he does everything out of pocket. I don't know. So, somebody says, I need a loan for tuition too, please. Help me out now. Could he sneaky link me some money? I'm in West Bay. Lord Jesus. This person says, yes, standards in public life, annual filings for various government pensions, elected officials, and board members of government authorities. Wayne also gives donations to various athletes going off island to represent us in tournaments, never ask for $1 in return. And he never talks about it. He's not there saying, oh, yes, let's take a photo op, me and you, so I can post this up on my social media page that I just donated to help you go away. He just doesn't do it. All right, folks, motor vehicle accident again, 2 vehicles in front of Burger King on the waterfront. Somebody says oil spill on the road. So the roadway will be blocked off in both directions. Of course, thanks again to the previous caller who mentioned it as well. All right. Good morning. Yeah, she's Harlan's daughter, but it is 4 daughters that Mr. J had. I always forget about Robin. She's so quiet, huh? Harlan, Heather, Christine, and Robin. I always forget about Robin. Yes. So Harlan is the one who is, her name is on this application in this project. And again, no disrespect to Heather. I mean, no disrespect was intended. But the truth is here to be set free. And, you don't get offended by things. In fact, if y'all really want to know the truth, who is buying political favors? Cabinet is buying political favors, in my humble opinion, by approving this application for Heather Bodden. The irony of it. And Mario knows that. Mario not stupid. He knows exactly why this has gotten approved. To keep her silence when they destroy the NCC. And that would be to her benefit, because then her family wouldn't have to apply. And there would be no report from the Department of Environment, no scientific experts saying, this is a marine protected area. We can't allow this to happen. You don't think that was buying her silence? Why didn't he talk about that? She's cabinet secretary. How can this cabinet look at her application? And let me tell y'all something, how absolutely ridiculous this is. I was talking to a minister recently, and I'm not going to say which one. And we were talking about this, and I said, listen, oh yeah, Heather's all up in her feelings. She's upset. And I said, that's fine. She'll get over it. And I said, but this could not go with the public not knowing what had fully happened with this application. And I said, how do you guys in good conscience approve dredging in a marine park? You know what the minister said to me? This is in a marine park? I was like, blouse and skirts. Say what? You're a minister that would have sat there and approved this in cabinet. Did you not even read the report from the Department of Environment? How you asking me if this was in a marine? Am I sure that this was in a marine park? Listen. My brain was like, what? Y'all are not even paying attention. That's how little they care about the environment. You could get an application like this and approve it and not read what was a 15-page document that said we can't allow dredging in a marine protected area. And I'm sitting here having this with you, and you ask me, are you sure that's a marine protected area, Sandy? What the hell? Miss Joyce Ann, good morning, honey child. She said, I, for one, have done so many business deals with my friends. It's a lot of time. It is a lot of time. They might not have all the funds, and I have the funds. I see nothing wrong if the deal is in record in the public's eyes. I mean, listen, I got to tell y'all a little joke now. On what today is? That was Monday. On Monday, I went to court to cover this case now that we're going to talk about next. And I said, I was walking back from the court office and I was walking through the bus depot parking lot, and some Jamaican guys were there having their little mid-morning break or whatever. And one guy said, "Hey, Miss Sandy, what's up?" And I said, "Everything cool, everything Chris, you know." He said, come here, bring your camera. See this guy here? He owed me some money. And I laughed because, of course, we all knew it was a joke. And I said, "Yeah, boy, you wouldn't be sitting there with him having a little sandwich if he actually owed you money." So I said, I stopped and talked to them for a minute. I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "You know the best way to keep friends in life? You'll have tons of friends. Don't borrow no money and don't loan no money." Because I'm telling you, that has been the ruination of so many friendships over the years. Seriously. In fact, I remember years ago, All right, good folks, we are back. Hello. What a hot mess. Yes, honey child. All I saw was bloop. The page was gone, everything was gone. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Y'all are like, oh, child, the government. They're trying to block Sandy. Nope, I'm happy to say that's why we have redundancy around here. Logic been having some issues lately. I've been seeing your comments online and they have legit been having some issues. And so thank you guys. We didn't lose too many people, still 392 people over there, and Instagram people are hanging on. So yeah, we're good. I had to get down on my knees and unplug one cable, one Ethernet cable, and plug the other one back in. So somebody, Aliana says, that's the Judo voodoo, yeah. So radio folks, I wanted to make sure that we were back online as well. My apologies. Refresh if you're not hearing anything. So just refresh just in case. So Michelle, refresh your connection. But all right, I think we're good. Yep. All right. So yeah, it was weird. I'm like, what? Where did we go? Everything went down. I think there's a delay in radio. That's why radio took a second to go down as well. But yeah. Okay, we're all right. So listen, you know, at the end of the day, folks, this situation is what it is. Minister Turner entered into loan agreement with Mr. Panton. You know, is it the best decision? I think that I'm more concerned about him than anything else. The fact that he, you know, is perhaps a little bit, Sean Wilt said, Miss Heather and Mario shut you down. They wouldn't even know how to do that. So I think I'm more concerned about him because everybody's going to be trying to hit him up for some money, you know, when I think he needs to start just having a firm no, you know. So I was telling you guys before we got cut off, I was telling you the joke now with the bus drivers, the Jamaican bus drivers at the depot on Monday. So I said to them, the best way to keep friends, we'll put that in quotations, is to don't loan money and don't borrow money. You're not gonna have no problems with nobody. So I remember many, many years ago, Oprah Winfrey said something that I thought was a very salient point with friends and money. You know, when you have money, people always be hitting you up. She said what she realized, it's not even about if you have the money to lend someone, but if someone comes to borrow money from you and you can lend it to them with the understanding that if you never got the money back, it would not change your relationship. You would feel no way different about them. They would feel no way different about you, and you'd just be able to keep it going. Only in those circumstances would you loan money. And I can't think of very many people who would loan money out and not feel a way if you didn't pay it back. So if that's the case, that's your litmus test when it comes to loaning money. If you never get that money back and that's going to be a problem, don't do it. Don't loan money. And like I said, we've all been in a situation. Hey, can I get a little money for this, as friends? But boy, Damien says a conspiracy fact that CMR is off the air. So don't do it. I would highly recommend that you not do it. Good morning, Janelle, Miss Wanda, Miss Iva. Don't worry, honey child. We're good. Listen, we got redundancy in power. So we got generator, we got CUC. If they click out, we got a generator ready to go that automatically kicks in. We got redundancy internet, so I pay for both logic and flow. Now, the funny thing is, my logic connection is the one that is the show most of the time. And so that tripped out this morning. I don't know what's going on with logic, but like I said, last week, I've seen a lot of people complaining about it. So thank God for flow this morning, child. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? We're all good. Yep. Irvin says, yeah, I'd give you $200 instead of lending it. Yeah. If you can give it, then you give it. If you can't, don't do it. Marshall says money can ruin families and friendships without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, Mr. Panton has his interest protected, at least. That's a pretty big loan, I must say. It's a bridge loan to tide her over until she's able to flip and sell the property. Girl, anybody looking for good property down in Patrick's Island? Sabrina has one for sale. There you go. Who is K9F8? Says, good morning, Sandra. I start my bachelor's in political theory on October the 7th. Congratulations, young man. Very, very good. Gabby says, that's why I'm glad I have C3 internet. Speaking of C3, Wayne is an investor in C3 too. Not for nothing, but I'm just saying. He gave Randy a bunch of feeder money to get that started. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you today?
Morning, dear. Not too bad. How you doing?
Cool.
Good.
Oh, Lord. Sorry, the airplane over my head. Huh? Give me 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So I would have to agree with a previous comment made that it might not be the best for optics, but what struck me more than anything else is that to see Mario talking about the presence of some kind of ethical and or moral compass in the first place.
Of all the people, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That is not lost on those of us who know.
Well, exactly. But we don't need to go down that rabbit hole this morning because I don't need to take another shower. Now, it struck me with interest when you were speaking of, you brought up the literal financial miscreant behavior at the very least, William McKeever Bush, San Thomas Affair, the goings on of the Ritz-Carlton.
And nothing was ever done about that?
Nothing was ever done because of the levels of corruption, high and low in Cayman, is the main reason. That's a longer conversation. But I'd also like to point out, Sandra, that the DART and UDP conspired for Cayman Investment Alliance was deemed by the Auditor General as illegal. Yet still, this is another thing that nothing was done about it. My first question for you is, how do you view that situation and the lack of anything solid being done as a result? Is there any legal recourse in that regard for the people of the Cayman Islands? Because, we've heard a lot about the lack of even proper record keeping as it pertains to the DART organization, extreme amounts of money as it pertains to concessions and so on and so forth. But going back to the original point, Sandra, the fact that the Auditor General found the FCIA illegal, thus illegitimate, thus null and void, how and why are we the Cayman Islands people still subjected to that so-called agreement, which in my humble opinion was nothing more than political malfeasance, vote buying, and buying an undue and illegitimate influence over decision-making processes.
You said that the court actually found in favor of
Auditor General.
Oh, but this was actually a court. This was subject to court hearings and stuff as well. So what did the court find?
I don't think it went any further than the Auditor General stating that it was an illegal agreement.
I'll have to look this up.
So nothing went to a court. It was shut down immediately. If I'm not mistaken, this was at the same point in time. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'd have to check that.
At the same point in time where Dan Duguay, or what I don't know if it was Dan Duguay, but was basically shut down, shut out, and blackballed by McKeown himself. So
no, I think that
I mean, I take that up as a subject of conversation. It would be,
yeah, I don't know about the Auditor General's viewpoints on it, but I can tell you this was a matter of legal. This was a case, so I'd have to go and find the case and see what the outcome of that is before I can probably comment on it, to be fair, because I can't recall.
But what we're looking at is a long list of one individual who Mario himself has been deeply tied to over the years.
Yes, of course.
And now he's trying to come for Mr. Panton in this regard. Once again, I don't think it was good for optics. I don't think it was a wise move, but it's all above board. That's one thing, but it certainly is not good for his optics in the slightest, you know. Anyway.
Yep. All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I mean, optics are important, but it's also important to recognize when people are just making up a narrative to try to create optics. I mean, I'll tell you what, I am the, you know, on the receiving end of all sorts of allegations. So-and-so really owns CMR. At one point, everybody apparently has owned CMR but me. And it's so funny because not even my husband has any interest in CMR. When I started this, it was very much me being in a frolic of my own. My husband's like, I don't know what you're doing. Why do you even want to do this? Like, he didn't understand. A lot of people didn't understand the vision, and that didn't stop me from doing what I needed to do. And I didn't need a partner. I didn't need $5,000 from anybody. I have carried this business completely out of my own pocket and still managed to keep everything else afloat at the same time. So now let me tell you all the biggest. I didn't need $5,000 from anybody. I have carried this business. When you call, make sure. Yeah, when you call, you got to make sure all that's turned down in the background.
I know, sweetie. I don't want to miss nothing, but yes.
Well, at least, however you're listening to it, put it in the headset so it's not coming through on the phone. All right.
I know, sweetie. I did.
Yes,
good morning.
Your comment. Good morning.
Yes. You know, first of all, Mr. Wayne is such a respectful man.
Yes.
And we as Caymanians should be proud of him. Because he has taken a stand in so many things that people don't know, like you have said this morning. And he's a giver and not a taker. So a lot of the takers, when a giver is just doing things from the heart because they know their motive and their mindset, they see it as how they would do it and why they would do it.
Yes.
And that's the problem with our people.
Yeah.
You know, and if you got something, you got to do it the wrong way to get it. That's not right. You know, people work hard. You know, you might not see their work, but you see their success. And that's the problem. You don't complain when you see I'm working, but you complain when you see their success. No, Miss Turner. I didn't know Miss Turner wasn't somebody I was into before. I just know that I read what she said she would do. And I said, let me give her a chance because I wasn't voting for PPM at all. So I decided I wasn't voting. So I was looking where to vote, who to vote for. So when I say that, I say the woman live in $1 million house now. It's not like she not used to $1 million house.
Right.
The woman drive a Range Rover.
She had that before she got into office.
long before she got a Range Rover, she got $1 million house.
She had a Rolex watch too before.
Thank you. So what if she goes into $1 million house? It's transparent. So what is the problem now if she, and because he's an MP, he does that time, he'd sell, right? She see a house that she like that he wants. So what she should do, wait till it's sold because she's in parliament with him, and then she decides to purchase it again, maybe from somebody at a higher price. Sometimes people don't go to the bank because the ratio, the debt ratio, but you know that you have things that you're going to do. You just need that amount of space to be able to do it. So I can say to you, Sandy, I want the house, you whatever. But my debt ratio is over right now.
Yes.
But I know I'm selling something.
Girl,
so when
I
I
got
sell
something
that,
I got my eyes on right now that I know,
all right,
isn't going to realistically happen because again, I can't. I mean, I wish I had the nerve to ask Mr. Ween for a little. I only need $500,000, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because again, I'm not about creating even for the sense of optics. I wouldn't do it because I know how people think. This is what I was going to just say, Miss Joyce Ann. You can believe that people are going out there putting out this narrative now that Wayne Panton bought my car for me. Now, how long have I not been talking about? It was supposed to be for my 50th birthday from last year that I was supposed to get this car, right? And I saved that for it, gave my deposit, the whole 9 yards, paid. And since we had to cancel that order and reorder, I had plenty of time. I said, well, if that's the case, give me my money back. I have another land transaction that I need to do. And then each month I'd be like, okay, here's money towards the car because the car is in production. It's not coming next week.
Right.
And I paid that myself. But the insulting thing about it is when you work hard and you've accomplished these things on your own, it is very, very insulting to have the likes of a Mario Rankin who's still living in his wife's house and doesn't technically have a pot to piss in, if you want to know the truth, roll up on you and question your very integrity. Because that's what he has done with both Sabrina Turner and Wayne Panton. He is questioning their integrity over this transaction. And that is really what this is about. To me, that is very, very insulting. Because there's nothing that is not above board. There's no reason to do so.
But you see the problem too, Sandy, is that election time's coming up. Sabrina's had a pretty clean, I haven't heard, and I used to hear the thing when she just made the mistake at first, and she cleared it up because that's a confusion. She was new, didn't know, didn't understand anything, and a record was played on her. She showed who she was, what she was. She's been keeping her ground. So now election is coming up. You're going to try to find something.
And here's the truth. That you know where I think this comes from? Now, this is going to be controversial. I think this comes from right inside cabinet, trying to somebody in there leak those, or well, they think they're leaking because Mario now they don't have access to those documents because God knows he's not paying for that access to the land registry system. Gave it to Mario to try and make trouble because Mario is a type of person who they can buy political behavior from. Most of the comments and positions that this man takes, somebody has paid for that. Just like Sherry Ann, and they don't like it when you call a spade a spade.
But it's what it is. It's what it is. And they need to stop it. There's some of them in there that I have never really take to. But if they do something good, I am the first one to comment.
It. Yes.
Because the truth is the truth. If somebody do something good, they do something good. It doesn't matter if you like them or you don't. It's your country that you should be interested in, that person is taking your country at heart. Why do we try to lick down one another? I have no idea. I could understand if this woman was coming from somewhere she didn't have nothing at all.
Yes.
This woman had her business before. She had, like you say, her Rolex. She had her Range Rover. She was living in Patrick City long before.
Yeah.
Right? So why now that she said, okay, I want something else after living here so many years? How the foreigners come here? They do it.
Yeah.
And what does it say? Plus, we never pay for PPM when it was running. He was the person.
He was, like I said, he was bankrolling the entire campaign.
Thank you. He rolled it with all of them. So what was that?
Yeah.
And they still kick him in his butt.
Yeah.
Right? And be we as Cayman, we need to stop this behavior.
Yeah.
If you don't even like Sabrina, or you don't like Wayne, but they're doing something transparent, they're doing something for your country, you give them the boot. Yes, you understand? You say, boom, like you do, because it's the truth. Let us encourage people, because this might even make them be a better person, seeing that they're given credit. When Mr. J did the roads, I said, Lord, we needed roads long time. Then he said he did in Northside. Yeah, he did Northside, but are you going to leave your house? I mean, it might look selfish, but are you going to leave your house unclean and go clean my house? You got to clean up your house too, because that's where you put in. Sometimes we don't like the truth, but do everywhere. You understand? If you want to do your community, fine. But he has not just done Northside. He has come out and he has done. My road was in a mess before for years, and you complain. It is since then I complained to my MP, and then she went and she tell him, and he had the road done. So many other places that I know the same thing. The roads were terrible, and we asked him, and he fixed them. So the onus good thing, yes, he started in his hometown. That's where his heart is. Even though that his heart is with Kema, it's going to be more. You're not going to leave your daughter without something to eat and come and give my daughter something to eat. You're going to give your daughter, you're going to share with my child. Yes, and that's the way it should be. We need to be realistic in life about these things. We pretend like, oh, well, you're doing something wrong because you're doing prospect or what. No, that's where, you understand? And we got to get, but you know what happened? Came in the buyout for the years, and they don't know real politician that's trying to be real. Yes. You understand me? Yeah. They've been so bothered over the years with one fridge, one stove, this, that. I don't take the turkey. They could tell you when they come, I tell them I don't eat turkey. Because I don't eat turkey, so I'm not just going to take a turkey, right? And so what is that? They're talking about Green and Sabrina Chan. What is it when you go wrong? Why you want to go wrong at a certain time and give up these things and whatever? You know, the picture is the picture. Let's be realistic. Yeah. But they need to stop it. They need to stop it.
Thank you, my dear.
Things. You're welcome, hon. Have a good day.
You too. All right, hon. All right.
Okay,
so,
bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's an above board transaction. Like, I don't really, again, it's interesting that of all the people that want to question this, let's read some more comments. This person says, good morning, madam. If you lend someone, even if it's only $5 and you won't get it back, that's what the person is worth. They are friends until debt parts them. Okay. Some people clench their hands when it's coming to give, but open their hands when it's time to receive. Good morning, caller.
Morning again. I just have a relevant question that has come to my mind.
Hold on one second. We have another caller, so let me just put them on hold. Hold on. All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Jonathan.
The relevant question has come to my mind this morning on the subject of this. What does it say when we have an MP making thousands of dollars on a monthly basis who has to go to another private individual to get a loan to buy a house? What does that say about the regular Caymanian and their access to fair and just treatment by our lending institutions, aka retail banks?
I don't know if I want to go that far, Jonathan. I'll tell you why. It is at least a $1.5 million house. So to be clear, the average Caymanian can probably go to a bank. You might not qualify for $1.5 million, but she has an existing house. So this is an additional property. This isn't a first property where she's like just trying to get a little starter home. This is an investment property. So I don't know that speaks to, you know, whether you can go to the bank and qualify for what would be realistic for you. And of course, it all depends on how much you're making, what your debt service ratio is, and all of those other things. So it's not that she's not making money every month. It might be that her debt service ratio is already high. And so there's just not, the bank has their standards. And so if she falls outside of what the bank is going to loan based on their lending criteria, then it is what it is. And the only way she could get it, you know, is a private loan. And the idea is that she's actually flipping the house. So it's not an investment that she's going to be keeping for long. So leave me there, though. We do have another caller in the line.
Okay.
All right, my dear. All right, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, honey child. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored be on all measures.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question and a statement.
Sure.
Question. I heard what you said regarding the certain MP that you're not calling no names, said, asked you the question if it was a marine park.
Mm-hmm.
No. Know that was said. Do you know, or are you questioning if they will be looking into that they overlooked that and undo what they did?
No, because listen, this simply demonstrates how little, in my opinion, they care and they pay attention. Cabinet, how does cabinet undo a decision? I mean, this is a good question, but how do they give these people approval and then go back and say, oh, we've changed our mind because we weren't paying attention in the first place to know that it was a marine park?
Wow. They need to redress. They need to redress that if by negligence that was overlooked. Because then you hear what the person said. Is it a marine park? It's really they didn't know. So that mean that wasn't brought to their attention, or they need
No. It was brought to their attention because the report would have been brought to their attention. And like I said when I discussed it, it was something that Wayne Panton had previously on his desk, and all cabinet members, in my opinion, knew about it. He would not bring it to them because he was trying to find an alternative solution that would not impact the marine protected area. So before he brought it to cabinet, he was trying to work on a solution that could say, okay, how can we benefit land access in that area without touching the marine protected park? Thank you,
Wow. Next question. Hello, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
A statement now. Why is it that Caymanians is the only nationality behaves like crabs in a bucket? Why is it that they're always fighting down one another, bringing down one another, bringing up any and everything, whether it's true or not true, to bring problems to one another?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're not the only ones, but we sure do it at Olympic standard. Like I said, we could win a gold medal in that too. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it.
It needs to stop.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, listen, if people, this is why I always say, if people work hard and they get things the right way, I am happy for us as a people. I'm not begrudging anybody. In fact, Aunt Lottie's words of wisdom, she always used to tell me, don't ever look at what someone has because you don't know how they got it. You don't know if they work hard, if they crook, if they steal, if whatever. So you try to keep your eye on yourself and you know what you're doing. So I'm very, very aware of that. Now, there are times on this show that we have brought it up, even in relation to Mr. Whatchamacallit himself, because Mr. Mario, because they've been bamboozling ways in which it was achieved. And you see, that's a very different situation, huh? It's different when you have to bamboozle your way into getting a car. So tell me something. When he went and borrowed money from the woman from Celebrations, what was her name again? Miss Joanne Brown. When he borrowed money from Joanne Brown to buy a vehicle, not a piece of land, at least Sabrina is buying something that she can put down and say this is a real investment, something that will grow in its value, right? When Mario was doing it, he was out there doing it to do what? To go buy a fancy car. Vehicles depreciate in value immediately. So when Miss Joanne sued him and his uncle, remember now he's had a lot of, not for nothing, but yeah, he's been a little pickle himself on more than one occasion, borrowing money from people and not paying it back. So back in 2015, Celebrations Limited sued Mario Rankin. Why? Because he borrowed money from her. Let me get the details now. I'm not here to try and make him look bad. I'm just here to give you all the facts. Okay? Borrowed a good substantial amount of money from him, put up a vehicle or something as collateral that come to find out he didn't even have access to. Let Auntie come with the receipts. So the plaintiff, duly incorporated, that's the plaintiff now, Ms. Joanne Celebrations. Right. The plaintiff claims a sum of British pounds, $578,885. $500,000. Over $500,000. Okay. On or before the 8th of each month is to be repaid in full or on or before the 8th of November 2013 with interest, 12% interest. It says here the defendant made payments totaling £62,000 and has made no further payments. The remaining balance of $471 plus $107,664 is due on the loan. So this was a loan, same thing. A loan agreement between two parties. People can enter these things as completely legal, right? It said that he borrowed the money and it was secured by the full assignment to the plaintiff on all leases in the defendant's name of entities owned or controlled by the defendant at Grand Harbor Developments. That's the little hot minute that he had his restaurant there. A 2010 Ferrari Scagaletti registered to the defendant with vehicle registration number, blah, blah, blah. Cash collateral held by the defendant or his custodians and banks. And then it says the defendant defaulted on the said security and transferred the Ferrari to a third person without notice to the plaintiff. So this is where things become interesting. When you have collateral that you're securing a loan with, and either you don't have access to the collateral, you default on it, right? You're not supposed to sell the Ferrari that's being held for collateral for loan. Anybody knows that. But that's exactly what he did. And then he also defaulted on the loan. Still owes them the sum of US dollars $500,000. He failed to keep the sum of US dollars $500,000 cash as security for the loan. When you live in a glass house, don't be you don't even throw a pebble at people because your boulders are online for people to see. I'm just saying. How many times you gonna borrow money from people and don't pay it back? That's the better question that we need to be asking ourselves. Lawsuit after lawsuit about money business all the time. So don't you worry about other people who are legitimately entering transactions. Now, the day that Sabrina doesn't pay it back and Wayne Panton has to sue her and that ends up an offshore alert, then you and I will be talking about it, to be clear. Okay? Let's move on. Speaking of people being sued, another employee has stepped up to the plate and is suing Dr. Dissaran for even more money again. So I don't know if you guys saw us publishing this one last night. $89,000. This is another situation of where, again, he acknowledged the debt, knows that he owes the woman money for, didn't pay her pension for years. How is this man not in court for pension? Where is the criminal prosecution? You see, this is the unfairness in the system, right? How has he gotten away with it? In this instance, he hasn't paid her pension for 20 months. Didn't give her due notice, the 3 months notice by contract. Hadn't paid her salary for 7 months. So she's suing him for $89,000. Now hear the joke. This man and his wife signed a guarantee. We're going to pay this money. We know we owe it. We're going to pay it just this year. And they try to put up 3 parcels of land. And of course, when I was sitting here reading the case, I said, oh, shit. 3 parcels of land. I said, but that's interesting. Because those 3 parcels of land sound like the same 3 parcels of land that the bank had as collateral that he defaulted on with them. So I'm like, you can't be using the same parcel of land for collateral over and over again for all these different transactions. So, Lord Jesus, if you go and you look at the Gazette where the bank back in November was taking his home, they make mention of the exact 3 parcels of land. Hold on here now. I'm going to show y'all. Right? I was doing this article late last night I had to rub my eyes. I'm like, this can't be for real. This cannot be for real. This is the exact thing. And of course, here's the joke now. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find the right Gazette here to show y'all. Here, the biggest part of this situation. Who has a lien on those parcels of land? The bank is going to even have an issue with it because government, the Cayman Islands government has a lien for $292,000 Cayman dollars on this. Why? For pension arrears. This man is in the hole, round that up to $300,000 that he has not paid his staff for pension. At least that's what they're holding. It could even be more than that. And he is not in court for non-payment of pensions. They're going to allow him the opportunity to leave the jurisdiction, which is exactly what he's planning on doing. This now is a slackness that y'all need to be talking about. You want to talk about money slackness and other slackness? This man, by my rudimentary calculations, owes at least $4 million in this community right now, between the bank that had the home and all these people suing him, the labs that he owed money to. And imagine the people that have not come forward. This one was just filed a couple weeks ago. So that's just showing up on the court list. There are other people who no doubt he did the exact same thing to under his business, did not pay them. And him and his wife are sitting here signing personal guarantees for something they know that they will never be in a position to pay back. Y'all need to explain to me how this makes absolutely any sense whatsoever. Right? It's madness. And he is a business owner in this community. And y'all gonna sit down and try to, now this is the foolishness that y'all trying to defend that makes zero sense. See the 3 parcels of land right there? The bank used that as collateral. Now government has a lien on it for unpaid pensions. And the $2.2 million house that he borrowed from the bank, that's gone up in smokes. Right? Okay. Now listen to me and listen to me very, very carefully. Oh, let me not forget that after the bank kicks him out in November, says we got to take this $1 million house back, see if we can't sell this to somebody else, multi-million-dollar house. He turns around and goes and rent from other people. And what does he do? Leaves 3 months worth of rent unpaid, and they are suing him as well. They want their, I think it's $25,000 in rental money. This man has been living, I don't know what kind of lifestyle this is. Owing people left, right, and center money all over the place. It's crazy. And I'm shocked that there are those of you in this community like, well, you know, Sandy, we shouldn't really talk about it. Oh, just give him a blight because he was one of 65 people. I went back and checked to see how many people had given me references for my case. He's one of 65 people that gave you a reference, you know? So that should mean that you never talk about him and his wrongdoing. Really? Are y'all insane? How many people have not been able to pay their bills? How many people never get that money back for pension? He should not be allowed to get away with this. And I don't care who like him and who don't like him. This isn't about that. This is about not paying pensions is a criminal offense in this country. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Morning, my dear.
All that I hear you talking about, this is the DPP. Because if he is planning to leave, I know they have held on to people's passports.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is the DPP. Other departments
but I bet you they're not going to do it. I bet you they're going to make this man slip right out of this country and do a thing.
No, we will see. It's the DPP.
Mm-hmm.
Because every case that goes through the pension department, it goes to DPP for there to make a ruling if it goes to court or not. So it is definitely the DPP. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you, Carla. All right. Well, no two ways about it. You know, and to be fair to the DPP, it could be a situation where the pensions office has not yet prepared the file because they have to prepare it to send it to the DPP for prosecution. So perhaps DLP has not done that. And so I have questions for DLP. My apologies. Has that been done? All right. Let's keep it moving, folks. Speaking of that, let's talk about, finally, there was a day of reckoning yesterday for another person who wasn't paying salaries. The ironic thing is this guy used to work for Disaran in the lab. And when he started up that business, he was complaining about how Disaran wasn't paying him. And that's the reason why he decided to get into business. I'm like, well, that's not a reason to get into business. Flawed. Don't know anything about businesses. And poor Kurt jump up and open up a business. You know what the magistrate said on Monday? If I had the power to stop you from ever being a business owner again, even if it's for a limited time, I wish I had that power because I am not convinced that you get it. I am not convinced that you understand the magnitude of what you have done and how you've impacted people's lives. $119,000 in outstanding fees for unpaid salary. You don't even pay people's salaries. You know how hard it is to survive in Cayman when you're getting a salary, much less when you're not? It's ridiculous. And so listen to me very, very carefully. He is, you know, he has no clue how to run a business. And the excuses he was giving the court on Monday about how he got into the position, the court stopped him. The magistrate, McFarland, stopped him and said, sir, I don't care about that stuff. Your poor decision-making, your poor business acumen and skills, and your inability to pay your bills, talking about, oh, people took advantage of you. Well, how do people take an advantage of you give you the right to take advantage of other people and not pay their salaries? One woman was hired on the basis that she's going to go out there and own her own salary. The judge was like, what? The magistrate was like, what? Who does that? Stop the foolishness. Oh, you know, he don't know if, when he'll be able to, he'll have to make monthly payments, but, you know, basically, because he's been featured on Mall Road because of the media coverage, he's having a hard time getting a job. You see, there's so many things that don't come to the attention of the court, right? The fact that my brother driving around in a Mercedes. Now, listen, you can have a Mercedes all you want, but if you cannot pay your bills, if you're owing staff money, it is time that you start to liquidate some of these assets and pay off your staff. You shouldn't be driving around in no big highfalutin car when you owe people salary for months and months and months. One woman over $70,000? Come on, man. Well, guess what? The court doesn't know this, but we also know that he's in arrears for his strata payments. So he hasn't paid his outstanding strata fees. He can't even sell the property because once you have a strata property and you try to sell it, those fees have to be up to date or no bank will finance it. Now, his bank, who holds that mortgage, has been advised of their arrears, and they've done nothing to assist. I don't know which bank that is, but I'm just telling y'all. Listen, what Jamaicans call him? Gino? Yes, you can be that kind of person and still be a quote-unquote nice person. It doesn't make you a good person. You can be nice and not a good person. Because while you're out here living your best life, while your bills are getting paid, while food is being put on your table, when you don't pay people, what do you think is happening to them? There are people who weren't able to pay their car loans. And they talked about it in their statements to the police. The bank was contacting them about their rent, their mortgages. So we have to have a real, approach to this. And I think the law needs to be amended and make this as more serious criminal offense. Even the non-payment of pensions, we have the judiciary saying, this is theft. You take somebody's pension money and you do not put it in a pension fund. You're misappropriating their funds. It is theft. And the cabinet members, these same cabinet members who sit down here doing, a whole lot of nothing most of the time, they need to start putting some proper legislation in place, amending legislations. Listen to the judiciary. The judiciary has said, we need the power to stop people from opening up other businesses when we see that they have this history of non-compliance and this history of doing whatever the heck it is that they want to do with no accountability whatsoever. Why isn't that being done? Change the legislation. It's pretty much a no-brainer. Let me give you another example where chief magistrate, she wasn't chief magistrate at the time, but she's chief magistrate now. Angeline Hernandez had this case before her, and she said the same thing. If I had the power to stop this young lady from opening up any other businesses, I would do so. Because what she continues to do, is she continues to open up other businesses and she's not paying health insurance. She takes out the policy just to get the work permit. And then she turns around and cancels the policy. This was back in 2022 that we did this article. Let me show you how slack our MPs are. Okay? This was back in 2022. Let me share the page here, the CMR page, that we did this article, Magistrate Frustrated Over Weak Laws. And she says, this is very frustrating for me as a sentencing judge to not be able to send you to prison for such a significant breach of the law. She also goes on to say that there's not even any power in the law to stop her from opening up additional businesses and continuing her bamboozling. Taking out insurance policies and then purposely canceling the policies so that she does not have to pay that legal obligation of health insurance every month. It says here that she has 4 business licenses, including a contractor's license for platinum builders. Clean source license, flawless detailing auto wash, professional janitorial services. She is opening up every business under the sun. Probably has no real work either. But hear the joke now. You know when Auntie's on the case? Look at this. They say the Lord is good even in your difficult times. She is the beneficiary, apparently, of somebody's estate. Elgin Kirtley Ebanks. Chriselle Larissa Edwards. Hallelujah. July the 24th, 2024. The man died all the way back in 1998. And she's now the beneficiary of some $200,000 estate. Can we get a kaboom and a hallelujah?
Kaboom! Praise the Lord!
Wow! This is where it's at. This is the good stuff now, folks. Yes, sir. All of you that she owed money to. The court should have given her a proper fine had it known. Go get your money, honey child. Yes, Magdalene, put a caution on the property. $200,000. Boy, the temperature just went up around here. You see what I'm telling you? You're not gonna benefit from that, honey child, because everybody that you owe money to needs to now go and put a lien on that property. She'll get the money. She'll get access to it, access to the estate. But tell me something now. Y'all would be foolish not to do what you got to do. All right. Pay attention. This is why y'all come to class, for the real news, the things that matter. K9F8. I don't know what you're talking about, saying technically because of Panton's resignation. He didn't resign, so I have no clue what you're talking about. Early snap elections are supposed to be held. No, he didn't resign. He was removed by his own PAC members. So there was no resignation. Now, K9F8, if you're going to be in class, you got to pay attention. He's asking if Johan is going to be running again against Joey, who's now PPM member. We don't know. He's not said that, so we have no idea. K9 also asked, are you able to tell us whether you are a liberal or conservative? None of that means anything to me. I don't know where you're from, K9F8, but in this country, it makes no difference. I don't know. We don't have any liberal or conservative parties. That's not how it works here. We have parties that are governed by personalities. You either like Alden, like Mr. McTaggart, or like Joey, and therefore you support that party, or you despise the other one enough to, by default, want to support the PPM. That's how politics in Cayman works. We have no ideological differences about conservative or what's the other one? I can't even tell what the names is. Conservative or liberal. Personally, for me, if you want my opinion, it depends on what you're talking about. There's a lot of things I'm very, very conservative on. There's other things that I'm liberal on. What's the topic? Because again, I don't identify as either one. I have an opinion based on topics. Yeah? So bring a topic and ask me about a specific topic, and then you'll get a response. All right. So it is what it is. I don't pigeonhole into, I'm going to be a conservative, so therefore, I can't believe in this, that, whatever. I don't know. So somebody says that's her dad, Mr. Elgin. Good. Now y'all can go get your money. I'm sure you're writing to query Mr. Donald's predicament with Prospect Haven. He's still and continuously going in high arrears with his strata. Approximately $10,000 is due from him. So yeah. Still owes all that money. No job, no prospects. And he's sitting there telling the judge, like he might do. I've learned a lot of lessons from this. And the judge was like, please tell me that you're not saying you're going to open another business. I don't care how many lessons you've learned. Please tell me that you're not going to be opening another business. And he wouldn't say that. He's like, well, I was like, well, anybody would be stupid to get in business with him. Because what y'all don't know is that even his business partners, who he did go into business with, have lost money as well, who went into this Royale Medical with him. All right. We got to get, Sandy got to get to some stuff here this morning. Abby says in Cayman, it seems the younger generation take on a liberal political viewpoint when the older people tend to be more religious, conservative, Republican supporters. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. Again, it just depends on the topic. So I don't know. Garrett says, please keep this liberal or conservative mindset in the U.S. only. I think this mindset of politics should be done away with completely. I think this mindset of politics, what does that mean? It is very limited and it leaves little room for reasoning. Aliano says, K9F8, we're British overseas territory, but we're a major financial capital. It's not liberal versus conservative. Here, it's poor monkey versus rich. Oh my God, I will not argue the point. What a hot mess. Let me see what other messages are coming in here. All right, tomorrow's Thursday. I think we should be good for tomorrow. Any other comments? Okay. All right. Good to go? All right. We're going to wrap things up here now. Good morning, Sandy. Hope us all as well. That was yesterday about SciFec. All right. Thank you. Okay. Damien says true. All it does is divide and conquer, not unite us. Cameron says, I'm not gonna be afraid to come and CMR election time. That's why Sandy's gonna charge on a RAS triple to come and talk foolishness to us. You think I should charge him triple? Okay. Taking financial advice now on pricing from Cameron. All right, folks, that's all she wrote. At the end of the day, thank you, Miss Joyce Sand. What does K9 say? Well, K-Man needs to come clean about its secular suspiciousness and define its political mindset on bipartisan standards. What the fuck are you talking about? You said you're going to be studying political what? What? Oh, Lord Jesus. Are you Caymanian? Do you live in the Cayman Islands? Unapologetic, good morning. Says she's smart and learned to finesse the system. Enough of them are doing it. She's following what she sees from an esteemed, high-ranking official. Who we talking about? This girl, Larissa, whatever her name is? No, she's just a crook. Simple. Common thief. Mm-hmm. All right, folks. Good. Got to get to work now. Got to go drive my own car that I bought with my own hard-earned money. We in Panton bought me a car. I'm like, you think I could finagle him into buying me a car? You see, I wouldn't. That's not what I'd be asking for. Why would I ask me in Panton to buy me a car? Of all the things, child, I don't want a car. I want property. I want land. I got my eye on a piece of investment property right now. That's what I need, not a freaking car. I can buy a damn car myself. Sure. Oh, he's paying her this and that, and government was paying her, yada, yada. I mean, if people pay for access to the show, they pay for access to the show. They're not paying me for loyalty. That's not how it works. And that is why I had to put young Hunter in his place the other day when he come talking foolishness, but I'm selling my ass. Well, he better try and learn how to sell something himself, because he ain't got nothing that nobody want. At least somebody wants my ass. Nobody don't want his. So let's be very, very clear. It's not for sale, and I'm not selling it. But if I wanted to sell it, it could be for sale. You see, I have something to offer people. You ain't got nothing to sell nobody and to offer nobody. Nothing. That's why you ain't got a job. That's why you don't come from people who, have worked hard and made their own way in life. Because they will tell you, yes, Dominique, that's what he said on last week, Monday. You better go back and listen to the show now. That's what you better do. After hours, 9:31. Pull it up. Don't come for me. Not if you got sense. Good morning, caller. Final call of the day.
Good morning. How are you, Sandra?
Not bad. How are you?
Not bad.
I'm trying to get to a place, Westbury Road, for 10 o'clock, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes.
No problem. Just let me quickly say this. I'm talking about the issue with Sabrina. Mm-hmm. If this is government money, and Wayne gave her a personal owner government money, there are many civil services about making $3,000, and that I don't go for. But if we can go down that
again? I couldn't hear it. If it's what?
I said, if this is what people are brawling about, that he used the government money, right?
No, it's not government money. It's personal money.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if we're going to go down that dark road, then we need to go and investigate every politician. The anti-corruption unit needs to go through every single one, because that has been going on for years when it comes to political parties and going on.
Except they're not transparent with it. That's the difference.
And the elections, okay?
Yeah.
The next thing I'm going to say is, Wayne Panton wants to give anybody a loan of his money. Let Wayne Panton or anybody do, because I, as a civil servant of 37 years, I have watched politicians come in and pay off debt for their friends' wives with all government money. Now, if it was me, I would have to pay back. I created revenue for the Cayman Islands government in two streams. I was the secretary of the creator of the Immigration Appeals Tribunal, where they're still making revenue from today in the cabinet office. The second stream I started was dealing with international exams from all over the world, and we made over $500,000 per year. For the last 3 years, Auditor General, Accountant General, since I retired, nobody has come to me and said, where has the Premier and our staff members, what have they done to keep this going? What has happened to all of that money? I'm Caymanian. Come and talk to me.
All right.
Sandra, take care.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's right. Miss Dee Dee says cars depreciate the very day you drive them off the property. That's for sure. No sense whatsoever. Property is the way to go. Damien says he's going to Kamala Harris University to get a degree in word salads and cackling. Leave Kamala Harris out of it. Cameron says he can't make it. You can't make it SMB for 10. Just cancel your appointment. No. I got to go. I got stuff to do. Oh, Lord, why this person always sounds so angry, says Carla. Oh, Lordy. Let me see here now. Miss Lucille says, morning, Sandy. I don't know who's running. I'm still running and don't know where to stop. Let me find that kaboom button. All right, folks, we're done. We're out of here. You guys have a beautiful day. Catch you tomorrow morning. I think Mr. Panton is coming on, and I may have another MP. I just need to go through the messages and clarify what I was reading this morning. I'm not sure if he's coming on or not, but I'll let you guys know. All right, see you tomorrow morning. Goody. Be good. Behave yourselves.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.